YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here is about Jennifer Hudson and her, who I thought was her husband, but turned out her boyfriend, now her ex-boyfriend, David Otunga from the WWE wrestling fame. And David also was a lawyer and also an American actor also. But recently, things blew up in the news spotlight for the two because Jennifer alleges that David Otunga has put hands on her. And this is something new to me because I thought there was like a, I ain't gonna say the perfect couple because ain't no such thing as a perfect couple. But I thought there was like a Will and Jada. I thought they were just a good couple that's going to stick together like a Denzel and his wife. But everything ain't always what it seems. And remember, we're on the outside looking in. So I'm going to read a snippet from this story and I will give my opinion as we go. Jennifer Hudson broke up with her longtime forever and a half a century has almost went by boyfriend, fiance, or whatever you want to call it. Now we get some insight at the possible reason the couple never got married, which is a lot of reason why these people in Hollywood never get married. Some is due over money issues, property issues, and other things that you can't really say. You have to read between the lines if you know what I mean. Now, the relationship has gotten so bad that Jennifer filed a restraining order against her baby dad, David Otunga. She claims she's afraid that he would physically harm her. Now, why are you afraid now after 10 years? And you would think if you've been with somebody 10 years, that right there would warrant enough respect for them to leave you alone and wouldn't cause you any hurt, harm, or danger. Because if they was with you all that time and they didn't hurt you, why all of a sudden now would they hurt you unless something is not right on the surface? And so it seems, because from what I see, it seems like it's a lot going on that's not really being said. Now, is Jennifer having an affair? Maybe. Now, on Thursday, TMZ obtained court documents detailing the recent allegations. And my question is always, every time I see T to the M to the Z, how do TMZ always get court documents? How they the first one to get information? Like, who the hell is these people? And what do the TMZ stand for? I know what it stands for, but I'm going to let you all decide what that stands for, and then you understand why they always in the mix of every damn thing. Even when Lamar Odom passed out in the club, they right there. It's like they got somebody around every last one of these celebrities, and it just don't seem right. But let's continue. Now, in the documents, Jennifer says David has exhibited aggressive, threatening, and harassing behavior toward me. She says I am now living in fear of further action David might take. And remember, it's a custody battle also going on with the two, because he want to get residential prime care custody of the child, which means the child will stay with him. Their son will stay with him and not her. So it's a reason for everything. So is this the reason why she was saying that he put her hands on her, and also going as so far as getting a restraining order? You would think after 10 years, if he ain't blew up on you in 10, from what we heard in the news, now we can only go by what we hear. But if it was that bad, you would think that she would have been in the news already years ago. At least we have a paper trail or something to go on. But if you just bust out in the clear open and once a relationship goes sour and now you start throwing fingers and accusing people, evidently it wasn't that bad, because if it was, you should have left, but you decided to stay. So, we have to take all this into consideration, because I'm not saying that she didn't get abused. All I'm saying is that why haven't you been said something? And at the same time, let's get this straight. I don't condone any kind of domestic violence. I don't condone men putting their hands on or beating women, and I don't condone women putting their hands on or also beating guys, whether it's throwing hot water on them or in the case of Al Green grits. I don't condone none of that BS right there. Keep your hands to yourselves, because things will happen. and will be smoke in the city when you're messing with two grown people. Now, she claims on Wednesday she was at a recording session, keyword recording session, in Chicago with their son, David Jr., and David made a series of phone calls to reach her. Now, you would think if you had a recording session, you might be in your zone. You might be going hard for those who've been in the studio, and you're going to be paying attention to what you're doing. So, if your phone ring or you get a text message, a lot of people do that at work. A lot of people do that no matter what they're doing, if they're driving, whatever. If you're too preoccupied at the time, you will at least get back to the person that's calling you. It's called common courtesy, and especially if you're in a relationship, it's called a relationship doing right by each other. So, after enough time passed, that's just like if you call someone, no matter if it's your relative, no matter if it's your fiance, girlfriend, or whoever, or grandma way across the country. they're not obligated, or they may not pick up the phone right then when you call, or respond back to a text message right when you text them. So give them a while. But if they don't respond and you keep calling them, either they in the hospital, or maybe they dead or something. Because after enough time has went by, that is plenty of time for you to get back with the person and let them know, hey, what's going on? What do you need? But if you don't respond to the person, what is the thing? Because what if that was you? Now, what if that was you calling somebody you in a relationship with, and you trying to, whatever it is, check on them, see how they doing, or just seeing if they need anything, and they never respond back, and you've been together all this time, and at the same time, you have a child together, and you don't say anything back after hours and hours go by. You can't blame that man for sitting up here thinking something's going on, that she's cheating with one of the producers. Now let's continue. Now, when he couldn't get a hold of her, he asked their son to record the scene. Hudson says David wanted their son to show she was dating one of her producers, something she denies. Now she says that Jennifer says that David wanted their son to show, like, whether it was a picture of them hugged up or a video or some of them engaged in some kind of act. That way he can use that as his leverage when they go to court, instead of just saying, you was busy or whatnot. But why couldn't you respond back to your fiance? That's why I want to know for 10 years. If it's been this good and y'all been smiling all on the camera all this time, you would think you would be overjoyed to respond back to your significant other, if that's your significant other. Like I said, now it's a lot of BS to the story, but the rabbit hole definitely goes deeper. Now, she says when she got home, David was visibly angry, grabbed David Jr. by the hand, and physically pushed Hudson out of the master suite. She claims their son, a makeup artist and an assistant, all witnessed the incident. She says this was just the most recent in a pattern of escalating and threatening behavior, and she says she's especially concerned because David is 6'3", 240 pounds, professional wrestler. Now let's get this straight right here. Now, Jennifer, before you first started and before you blew all up on Jenny Craig and Ray Watcher, your big ass was about 5'10" and about 340. So you can't get mad at David 6'3", 240. At least that's muscle. But we remember you when you was Big Hudson, Big Jennifer, working at McDonald's, and lucky you got discovered when you went to American Idol. Truly, you have been blessed. But how are you gonna sit up here and try to kick this man now that the relationship has gone sour and it's coming to an end? I don't understand that about couples. So what was you with me for all these years for? If I was so bad and abusive to you and controlling, why was you with me 10 years? You would have left me after 6 months or the first year or two, right? Because you can only, pretend for so long. So this is what I'm trying to get you all to see right here, is that when you see stories like this, because this ruined people's lives and reputations, when you sit up here talking about this guy who's a celebrity, he put his hand on you. Now, what if he can't get no more work, no more? What if WWE fire him from being a Raw commentator, because he does have a side gig with them where he still goes on that, even though he's retired now, because he, got a little on up in age like Triple H now, even though he's not as old as Triple H, but he's right there knocking on the door also. So what if Vince McMahon with his crooked ass, decide to, fire him because of these allegations? Just like the same thing with Tyrese. Not to compare the two, but it's very similar. Now, what if they decide not to give him any more work? Just like Tyrese is hard to get work because the allegations came out that he was putting his hands on his daughter Shayla, and also Shayla's mom. And that's why Tyrese is acting a damn fool, crying all over the internet, talking about he's broke. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett gonna give him $5 million, all type of stuff. So you have to be careful of what you accuse people of and what you put these labels on them as, because the society and people in the public is not going to see it that way. If they see it written up there, they're not going to question it. They're not going to reference check it or anything. They're just going to accuse the person of whatever it is you saying they did. And that's just how this world works. Now, Hudson goes on to say in legal docs, on occasion, David left a gun in holster on their kitchen counter. Now, put the keyword in. Now, watch what she just done. Now, she put a weapon involved. A gun involved. So therefore, meaning that you escalate the situation. If he's already abusive, so-called quote unquote abusive, and he's putting his hands on you, then you throw a weapon in there. So what they gonna sit up here and automatically do? No, he can't get residential primary care of the child. The child have to reside and stay with you. See, women do all this stuff right here just to further tarnish your credibility and your reputation. So you really don't have things to stand on, because what judge in their right mind will let a violent guy, quote unquote violent guy now, who's abusive to his child mom keep the child and have a weapon around at the same time. Think about that. Now, he said it was a movie prop, but Hudson says David knows that I am and have been very sensitive to firearms after my mom and brother were murdered by a firearm. You should be, because that what escalated you into the fame that you had right now when you lost your mom and your brother. I think it was your nephew also. Once you lost him and your sister was on, I think it was Facebook or somewhere a few days later, laughing and giggling, living it up and everything. Yeah, we know that's BS also too. So yeah, I bet you is traumatized by that. But good try for trying to throw that in there. You're not scared of no guns, neither more than you scared of a microphone. Let's continue. Now she says, I believe that he left it out to taunt, intimidate, and frighten me, which he absolutely accomplished. How the hell did he accomplish that? I don't understand that right there. You be on movie sets all day long. I'm sure they have all kinds of guns around, all kinds of movie props, whether they're real or fake. So how can that terrify you so bad to where you got to sit up here and put that out in the public? It's not like he cocked a gun and pointed it at your head. No, the gun was just sitting there on the table. But all of a sudden, David Otunga so bad, and I'm not taking up for the guy. You have to read between the lines, because like I said, if it was that bad and he was so threatening and dangerous, why would you have a child with him? Why would you procreate with him? Why would you be with him that long? Because you got to remember how this all fell apart. When she was at the studio and she didn't pick up that phone and she didn't call back or text that man back after Lord knows how many hours went by. And so suspicion built up, and I'm pretty sure he was already suspicious, because we hear the stories going on in Hollywood, the orgies going on, all these people coming together from all across the country into these big old mansions having these sex parties, and also in the studio how it goes down, because it's all the same. They do it in WWE, they do it in the music business, the film industry, everywhere. So he knows what he knows pretty much the reason why he was trying to ask about the producer and what he was telling his son to videotape it or show some kind of act with her and the producer engaging or being together. So they know what's going on because they're a part of it. But at the same time, do I believe that he was abusive toward her? No, I don't believe he was abusive toward her, because why would you why haven't you came forth with it? Now everybody get mad at somebody, and like if you walk them, you probably jack their hand or something like that. That don't mean you hate them or you love them. That just mean you frustrated with them for the moment. But long as you don't take it further than that. That's what I'm saying, because everybody get upset. You might slam a door, you might cuss each other out, but that don't mean you're going to sit there and shoot each other in the head while you sleep. Come on now. Now, the order of protection granted Hudson to remove David from the family home, kick the man out the home. Now, custody negotiations are falling apart between the former couple, as each wants primary physical custody and can't come to an agreement. The order of protection gives Hudson exclusive possession of their residence and orders David to stay away from her and their son. Jennifer's custody petition asks the judge to give her significant decision-making responsibility, means basically just full custody of the child, if you will. He can't say shit. If she won't take the child to China, Beijing, or anywhere damn well, she can do that. She don't need his consent to do anything. It states that she's been solely responsible for making all major decisions for their son. But David's friends say it's completely the opposite, and I bet it is. Remember, this guy is very educated. You have to understand that he's not just some damn wrestler. He's a lawyer also, and an actor, but forget the actor part. He's a lawyer, so he has a high level of intelligence, so that's why his friend's saying that, because I'm pretty sure he don't hang around thugs and all this other stuff. He hang around like-minded guys, people that got money like they gonna hang around people with money, whether they movie producers or lawyers themselves. Now, Otunga is claiming that Jennifer made all the allegations up in order to gain an advantage in the custody dispute, just like I read earlier. And I just want to know what you all think about that also, because it's sad when you be with somebody this long and you can't come to some kind of resolution or agreement where you can come to a diplomatic solution for the benefit of the child. Because remember, you have to put your differences aside. If you lay down and made a child together, you have to do what's best for the child. And a lot of times you never see people do that. They'll argue each other back and forth and hate on each other and talk bad about each other in front of their kid. And they wonder why the kid grew up disrespecting their mom or hating the dad, because you put all this into that child's head instead of concealing your feelings and pushing your feelings to the back burner and doing what's best and for the upbringing of this child that they need to raise together. But let me know what you all think about this video right here. And also, do you think David put his hands on Jennifer also, because public opinion matters. That's what's going to matter the most, and that's why we have this internet, because we can do a lot of things with this internet. It's all about influence and public opinion. Remember that. So that's why I asked you all to give your opinions, because you never know. It might be somebody going through a domestic dispute, and it might be somebody getting lied on, talking about they done hit somebody, whether it's a man or a woman. So that's the reason why I ask you all to chime in and share your call. I mean, not your calls, your thoughts and your comments also in any experience that you have, because we all have our share of stories when relationships go bad. How people will sit up there and shit on your name, throw dirt on your name. But anyway, if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you like, subscribe. Till next time, y'all stay blessed, love each other. And if you can't love each other, get the hell off around each other. It's simple as that, because somebody gonna wind up stinking or dead. I'm out.